Hey, it's Ev, and this is a video about how I transitioned in the UK. I mostly transitioned privately, which means I paid for it. I have had one NHS appointment, which I'll talk about as well, but the majority of my transition has been private, with Gendercare. So in this video, I'm not going to be talking about like testosterone changes and top surgery results and stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about how I got my appointments, what appointments I had to go to, how much I had to pay, and that kind of thing. So yeah, if you're interested just to find out what it's like, then you can watch this. If you're actually wanting to transition yourself in the UK, then also this might be helpful, but just bear in mind that waiting times change all the time, prices change, what doctors you can see and stuff like that, that changes as well. The prices I'm going to be saying are actually based on what it currently says on the Gendercare website for my Gendercare appointments, but the prices I paid for top surgery, I'm going to say what I actually paid at the time, and that's probably gone up by now. I probably paid slightly less for the Gendercare appointments than what they charge now, but I can't really remember what that was. So I'm just going to quote what it currently says on their website. Yeah, I made a whole list on my phone of all the appointments and everything that I've been to. So I started off in March 2017, which is actually before I came out. I sent an email to Gendercare asking for an appointment. On the Gendercare website, it says, there's a section how to use Gendercare. It says who to email based on what you want, and it says what to include in the email. So if you're wanting to use Gendercare, then just look at that section of their website. But yeah, I think they took a month or two to respond to me, but I emailed in March 2017, and then I got offered an appointment in August 2017. But before that, I came out in May 2017. I also went to my GP and asked to be referred to the NHS Gender Clinic, and in July 2017, I was referred to Charing Cross / Tavistock in Portland, GIC in London. I also changed my name legally in July 2017. I used UK Depol service. I can do a whole video about that if anyone wants. So in August 2017, I had my first Gendercare appointment. I went with Dr. Lorimer. At the time, Gendercare pretty much was just Dr. Seal and Dr. Lorimer, but now there's like many different doctors you can go to, and it says on their website which doctors you go to for what thing, so yeah, that's all explained on the website. An initial appointment with Dr. Lorimer is £300. He's really friendly, and I felt like it was just all the obvious questions that got asked. Nothing really surprising came up. It all just went really smoothly. I had a blood test at my local doctor's before that, and I had to take in the results. I think I had to get something retested, and then I had to send that into Gendercare. There was a bit of confusion with my levels, or something was up, I'm not really sure, so it took a bit longer than usual. But I started testosterone in November 2017, which was between my first Gendercare appointment and my second Gendercare appointment. I'd already at some point made my appointment with Dr. Seal, who's the endocrinologist, but because there was such a big gap between that appointment and my first appointment with Dr. Lorimer started me on testosterone as on like a bridging prescription. I got my first prescription privately from Dr. Lorimer, and then my GP carried it on a shared care basis. When I first went to my GP to try and get shared care, they were like, shared care doesn't exist. Private clinics are illegal. The NHS waiting list isn't long. And yeah, there's a whole thing. With that, I ended up just moving doctors completely, and then the second one I went to, and the one I've been to after that, they've all just been like, yeah, okay, that's fine, because it is fine. It's not illegal. They were just rubbish. I don't mean I changed doctors within the doctor's surgery, I mean I had to change doctor's surgery completely, because I even wrote to the practice manager, and I spoke to multiple different doctors, and they all agreed that private gender clinics are illegal and shared care doesn't exist, and yeah. But anyway, eventually I got a doctor that did agree to shared care, and then I started testosterone in November 2017. Then I had to go to my first appointment with Dr. Seal in February 2018, which cost £300 as well. He's also really nice, and he spoke more about like the physical sides of things. Dr. Lorimer talked more about like social stuff, more about like how I feel, dysphoria, and how things are with my family and stuff like that. But yeah, that all went really smoothly as well. Even though I had started on testosterone from the bridging prescription with Dr. Lorimer, I still had to go to the Dr. Seal appointment. If you just don't go to your appointments, they'll just stop prescribing your hormones. Then in April 2018, when I was, I think, about 5 months on testosterone, I had my phone call appointment with Dr. Lorimer to get a referral for top surgery. I think usually they say you're meant to be 6 months on testosterone, but I think that was just the date that I ended up being fit in for, so it was a bit before that. That phone call appointment cost £150, and then I got my referral, which I used to have top surgery with Miles Berry in London. Consult with Miles Berry cost £100, and that was in May 2018. That consult didn't go as smoothly as everything else, because he sort of said, you haven't been out for very long. Usually I'd like you to have been living as male for 2 years. That took me by surprise, because I was looking on the NHS Gender Clinic website, and they said to be referred for lower surgery, you need to be living as male for 1 year. So it surprised me that someone was saying I had to be living as male for 2 years to get top surgery. But even though he said that, he did agree to do it because Dr. Lorimer had given me a good referral or something. I then had my top surgery in July 2018, and that cost £5,975, which included the stay at the hospital, the post-op binders, food, the medication, any revisions I'd need doing, which I'll get to. But then there's also, you got to think as well, all these appointments are in London, so I had to be paying to travel up to London. I had to stay overnight in a hotel the day before my top surgery, because I went in the morning. I had to have a review appointment with Dr. Seal in August 2018, which is £170, because I was coming up to 1 year on testosterone, I think. That all just went really smoothly as well. So finally, after being referred in July 2017, in January 2019, I got my first NHS appointment. That didn't really go as expected, because when I was there I said because I've been on testo gel the whole time, I said the gel's kind of making my skin a bit dry, can I be switched to injections? And she said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. After we've completed our 2-part assessment, we can switch you over. The second part of your 2-part assessment will be in 12 to 18 months. Bye. So yeah, I had to contact Gendercare, and I was a bit confused, but it turns out, even though I'd had my first NHS appointment, I was still under Gendercare until the NHS had taken over my treatment, which they're refusing to do until after my second appointment. I have spoken to other people who have been in my exact same position, who have gone to the exact same gender clinic, and they have just been told, yeah, that's fine, we'll take over your hormones straight away. But for me, for some reason, they said no, you've got to wait until after your second appointment, which will probably be in summer 2020. But yeah, I got in touch with Gendercare and I said I wanted to be switched to injections, to libido. At first my GP was like, we're not sure if that's allowed, but they ended up saying yeah, so that's fine. Gendercare explained to my GP what to do to switch me over to injections. I think it was in April I switched to injections. And then Gendercare also told me that I'd have to come in for another review appointment, even though at my last appointment with Dr. Seal, I was told that would be my last Gendercare appointment, but then they said because the NHS hadn't taken over my treatment, they want to see me again. So in October, which was just a few weeks ago, I went in again to see Dr. Seal, and I had to pay another £170 and just have a review appointment. I haven't included when I'd gone in to see Miles Berry again for my post-op appointments for my top surgery, but yeah, I've had a few of them, I can't remember. I've probably spoken about it in my other videos about top surgery. I'm actually having a revision on my chest done in December, a fairly minor revision, and just on one side whilst I'm awake. It doesn't need an overnight stay or anything like that. And also that's free because I already paid nearly £6,000 and revisions are covered. They're meant to be only covered for a year apparently, but I went in after a year and they said it was fine, so that's good. So yeah, hopefully in summer 2020 I'll have my second NHS appointment and they will complete their assessment and agree that I'm trans, even though by then I've pretty much completed my whole transition. Yeah, and then they'll take over my HRT, and I'm probably going to get referred for lower surgery, or at least a hysterectomy. So altogether it's just over £6,000 for the appointments regarding top surgery, and about £1,000 for the appointments about hormones. Both the doctors I've seen at Gendercare were extremely friendly and professional, and I definitely would recommend them. I think at one point, I think Dr. Lorimer and Dr. Seal had pretty long waiting lists for appointments, and I know that at one point Dr. Lorimer wasn't taking any new patients. I don't know if that's still the case. I'm not sure. Also, I don't know when you're watching this video, so things change all the time. I'll put on the screen what I've written down of my appointments, like the dates and prices. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to know more about Gendercare, definitely go to their website. I see a lot of people asking, like, how much does it cost? Which doctor do I need to see? What do I email? Quite a few times I've seen people ask what to put in their first email. If you go on the website, under the How to Use Gendercare section, it says if you're making a new patient inquiry, and then it says exactly what info you need to include in that. And then also they have a section for fees, and then it has exactly how much each appointment will cost. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. You can leave a comment or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm open to answering pretty much anything if it's coming from another trans person. I just thought I might add in as well my responses to some of the common comments people have surrounding this topic. Firstly, when people say, why would the NHS pay for your transition? NHS doctors, who are like experts in this field, diagnose gender dysphoria, and they see that the treatment for it is transition, and based on research and evidence, that's what tends to work. Like, it's not like they're just basing it on absolutely nothing. There's been years worth of research and, you know, medical experts looking into this. So the NHS diagnoses it. Obviously the NHS would then like treat it. People say, shouldn't the NHS only be for children that need heart transplants? No, the NHS, as far as I'm aware, has never been only for emergency operations. Like, people go to the NHS because they have tonsillitis or a bad knee. It's not only for children that need heart operations. It's a bit of a stupid comment. Also, people say it's your choice, you should pay for it. It's not a choice. That's like if the NHS were to diagnose anxiety and then say, I'll have this medication for the anxiety, it wouldn't be fair to then say, no, just choose not to have anxiety instead. Because that's just not how it works. Also, I see a lot of people in other countries saying, if you're in the UK, it's ridiculous that people would be trying to like fundraise to pay to go privately. Just wait for the NHS. The NHS, when you hear it's like 18 months to 2 years, or sometimes even longer, sometimes even like 3-4 years for a first appointment, that's just for the first appointment. It can then be like years for the other appointments that then lead to them actually treating you. Like, I'd still be absolutely nowhere near getting on testosterone. I'd be unbelievably far away from getting top surgery, and I was referred in summer 2017. Yeah, the NHS can take absolutely years, like 4, 5, 6 years. Some people can't afford to wait because it's affecting their mental health that much that they just can't. Like, for some people it is literally life or death. Also, some people wait for years and then the NHS says, oh no, you're not on the list anymore, and they have to start from the bottom of the list again. I'm lucky in that I could afford it and that my family has helped me pay for a lot of it, but I do see some people saying everyone should go private, no one should go on the NHS because just work and then pay for it. Some people do work and they can hardly afford to feed themselves and to feed their kids, and you know, if they have families that are depending on them, some people can't afford to be putting away thousands of pounds. And then also some people can't work or can't get a job. I'm pretty sure that the huge majority of people that are able to go private are going private because no one wants to wait 4 years when they could wait a few months. I see people hating on people for not going private and for using the NHS, and then I also see people saying like, why would you go private? The NHS gives it you for free, just wait, because they think it's like a year wait, when it's much longer than that. We are extremely lucky to have the NHS in this country and to have a service that pays for this kind of thing, and recognises trans people, and recognises that gender dysphoria is a medical condition and there's medical treatment for it. But it's unrealistic when people make out that it's kind of like a few months and then they'll give you hormones. And some people think you can literally just go to your doctor and then they'll just like give you a sex change. But yeah, leave any comments, leave a thumbs up and subscribe.